Hi, I'm Tyson Franklin, and today I want to talk about employing other people. And sometimes you can employ too early, at other times you can employ too late. You've got to know when exactly is the right time to employ people. This is why you need to understand the numbers of your business. And let me explain. So, if you employ too early, this is the big problem. You bring on another podiatrist because you're busy. You've got to a point where you go, wow, I need to employ someone, because that's the logical thing that most people think. I need to employ somebody else if I want to grow my business. However, if there's not enough profit in your business to employ that person, straight away, that's going to put you under pressure and it will put them under pressure. Because if you've got a certain amount of expenses in life, as well as running your business, and this is why you need to understand the numbers of your business. You need to know what your living expenses are. You need to know what the expenses are of your clinic. Whatever is left over after you've paid yourself and everything else, then that gives you an idea how much is there to pay another podiatrist. Once you've worked that figure out, I would then drop it by 20%, because there's a chance that the podiatrist that starts with you may not work at the same level that you work at. So if they don't bring in as much money, then there's a chance your business could drop a little bit. And if it does, then this is when people employ too early. Their profit margin it's just right if everything goes perfect, but things don't always go perfect. Sometimes you can have a couple of quiet months when a new person starts. So as an employer who employs too early, you then start putting the thumbtacks onto the person who's working for you. You make their life uncomfortable, you're stressed out, and it's just not a great working environment. And then you come across as one of those bosses that people talk about who say, I had a really shit boss. And that's usually why, is because they employ too early. If you think you need to employ someone, before you do, look at your fee structure and put your prices up. I reckon that is the best thing to do. When you're at capacity that you cannot fit any more in because you're so busy, you need to look at your diary. You need to create a default diary. You need to change things so you're seeing more patients that you want to see and less of the ones you don't. And you also need to increase your fees. When you do that, you'll have a greater profit margin. The bigger the profit margin, the less financial strain there will be on you when you employ somebody the first time. So that's the important to know your numbers. If you don't know how to do this, talk to someone who's been in business for a while and get their advice, or contact me if you need any help. Now, other extreme, or the other end of the scale, is you employ too late. The problem with this is you're really busy. You may have put your fees up at different times. You may have amazing profits, which is great. You can afford to employ someone, which another thing is great. Problem is you're that busy running your business, seeing patients yourself, you have no time to give to the person who has started with you. Now, that's great if you employed someone who is really experienced, and they might go, I don't really need much hand holding, just point the patients at me, I know exactly what to do. But if it's somebody who is a new or recent graduate and they need a bit of guidance on what to do, they need some help with their patients, and you're not there to guide them, a couple of things can happen. First thing is they could be making mistakes or not treating patients properly, and by the time you realize it, it hasn't been great for the patients, and it's been it's had a negative impact on your business, because word of mouth can get around pretty quick that you may have someone employed who's not working out. But it's because you've been spending too much time in other areas. So there's that sweet spot. It's like the bowls of porridge, too hot, too cold, just right. You got to find that sweet spot. When you get to a certain point where you're busy, put your fees up so that you've got bigger profits. When you're greater profits, you employ somebody else. And when you employ somebody else, you need to block out a certain amount of time every day to make yourself available for them. If they're a new graduate or a recent graduate, you might need to allow more time. If they're more experienced, don't think just because they've got 5, 10, 15 years experience, they know what they're doing. They may have worked in a place that nobody cared about anything. No one sort of looked at what they're doing. No one had KPIs or measured anything in the business. So just be aware of that experience doesn't mean they're good. It just means they've been around for a long time. I've had new and recent graduates who worked with me, and after 3 months, I would have them over anyone that had been at 5 or 10 years, because I knew they were doing things the right way and the way that I wanted my business run. So the point of today's video is, if you're thinking of employing someone, is don't employ too early, and also don't employ too late. You got to find that sweet spot in the middle And using your numbers will tell you exactly when it's time to do it. Now, the good part is when you work this out and you do it right, you can do it again. And again, you'll know when to employ the second person, the third person, the fourth person. You'll know when it's time to set up a second clinic if that's what you choose to do. Done it multiple times myself. And once you work out the formula that works for you, because everybody's formula is different as well, depending on where you live, your lifestyle, your expenses, whether you're married, if you've got children, depends how many children you got as well. You might, yeah, there's so many factors that you need to work out what is your magic number. Once you work that out, then just keep duplicating them. Hope you get something from that. If you have any questions, remember, reach out to me. You can send me an email, tf@tysonfranklin.com. Don't forget to go and check out my new website for the podcast, podiatrylegends.com, but my old website is still tysonfranklin.com. And if you're enjoying these videos, please click the subscribe button, hit the bell so you don't miss out on any. And yeah, I'll talk to you again maybe later in the week, maybe next week. In fact, next week or the week after. No, it's next week. Jonathan Small is actually going to be in Cairns here with me before we head off to Brisbane for the Work Smarter, Not Harder event. All those details are on both my websites, tysonfranklin.com and on podiatrylegends.com. Just click on events. Okay, I'll talk to you later on. Bye.